Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Fool. This is Tarot in Action, and we are going to talk about the actions that you can take with the Fool card here. The Fool, of course, represents a new beginning, taking a leap of faith, joy, happiness, all sorts of things. It can even represent companionship with this little dog that we have right here. The most easiest action that we can take with the Fool is to just take a leap of faith, of course. He can represent taking a risk. So if you're frequently, the Fool comes up on a personal level when we might be waiting for things to fall into place. So the Fool can come up when we're kind of like waiting for a certain like approval, or maybe we're waiting for information to come together or something along those lines. And again, that's really why it represents kind of taking an action, just doing something. It can also, another action that we can take with the Fool card is to just remove that what no longer serves us. He has this tiny little sack on his back, and that's all he needs right there. He doesn't need, he's not burdened by pretty much anything. He kind of looks like light and flowy as well. So sometimes with the Fool card, we just need to release the need to have certain responsibilities, or we could be overcomplicating things as well. So another action that we can take is to make sure that we're not making things too complicated. I wanted to start this series, for example, on doing the tarot and going through each card. And it's like I could have made this all like fancy and, had a different setup and all that other stuff, but it's like I'm just getting started. And that's what I feel with the Fools. Like sometimes we just need to get started. We just need to get going, and we can worry about the fancy stuff later. We can worry about making things look nice and, packaging things. And it doesn't matter what you're starting. It could be a relationship, could be a business, but it kind of is one of those cards that says there is never going to be a perfect moment for you to get started. So it's like, the time is now. He can also kind of represent freedom. So he can represent looking for areas of your life where you could be more free. That's another action we can take. He also represents letting go of worries. He does not have a care in the world, and worrying really doesn't help anything. It doesn't help us accomplish anything. It doesn't set us free. So he can represent letting go of worries. He can also represent needing to let go of outcomes as well. It's like all he cares about, everything about him actually represents knowledge. You can see that feather in his cap. The feather in the cap represents knowledge. Again, the small sack that he has on his back, he's about to go through the whole entire major arcana from the Fool to the World card. He's about to go on this very long journey, and all he has is that tiny little sack. It says that he has everything he needs right here. So sometimes we just need to kind of, he doesn't really care how he gets to the world, how he accomplishes his goal. He has to go through the whole major arcana. He knows he's going to get to the tower and all this other stuff, right? So he's just kind of like freeballing it, right? He's just going on his journey. He's just figuring it out as he goes. And I feel like that's another action we can take with this card. He's also standing at the top of a mountain, and he's standing on the edge of a cliff that you can see there. His head is held high, so he's like got his head aimed up towards the sky. And there's like an esoteric meaning. It's a little known meaning of the Fool card, and he is maybe talking to God or the divine, whatever you want to call it. The universe, doesn't matter. And he's asking for guidance. But the esoteric meaning of the Fool in the first place is that, the kingdom of God is inside of all of us, and we just need to follow our own inner guidance. And that's another great action that you can take with the Fool card. So that's the Fool card. If you would like to learn more about tarot or want to learn more about my tarot masterclass, there's a link down below in the description. But we're going to move on to the Magician.